So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to begin by launching the NXT software. And today we're going to use the ultrasonic sensors to navigate our way through the PVC pipe mazes. So the major difference between this and what we did on the last time we had the mazes out was the last time we used kind of guess and check dead reckoning to solve the problem. So it really was annoying because you had to get the distance right. You just had to try more or less until you got it about right. Guess and check is about as good as it got, you know. You guessed and you checked to see if it was right. Move this over here. And we're going to get started here. So first what you're going to do is we're going to make one, and this one's going to be called Sonic Maze, because we're going to use the ultrasonic sensor that uses sound waves, right? So on a robot, we had added, a couple weeks ago, we added these ultrasonic sensors. And remember, just to remind you what these are, is they are both speakers and microphones. And what they do is they make an ultrasound, which is a sound that's so high in pitch that human ears can't even hear it. And they bounce those waves off of things, and they use what's called echolocation. And what's echolocation? Well, it's similar to the way that bats hunt. They chirp out an ultrasonic sound, and then they listen for the sound to come back. Based on how long it takes for that sound to come back and the way that they hear it, they can tell where their prey is. And so that's how bats are so good at eating insects and things like that. Our robot is going to be bouncing out against an object, going to be bouncing out sound waves. And when they bounce back, it will count with very precise measurements, with milliseconds, how long did it take to get there. And from that, because sound pretty much always travels the same speed, more or less, if you're at the same altitude, the robot can take a pretty good guess about how far it is away from the object that it bounced off of. We're going to use that to detect walls and then turn left or turn right. Okay, so let's go back and we'll get going on this. All right, so for this code, we're going to get started by making the robot go forward forever. Okay, forward forever. So I'm on the wrong page. I need to go down here, and we're going to click this one. And I want to slow down. I don't need it to go too fast. I want it to go 50%. If you go too fast, it will actually run into the wall before it has a chance to stop and detect it. Actually, let's go 40. Let's go 40 for that, just to make sure. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're not going to go any rotations. We're going to go unlimited. But in reality, this doesn't really mean unlimited. It means it's going to go forever, but wait until something else happens. And then I'm going to click here, and we're going to go to the wait until we have a touch. Oh, I'm sorry, distance. See this one that says distance? That's the ultrasonic sensor. So I'm going to put this here. And if we double check, everything should be set up if you went to distance, not touch. And so it should be sensor, ultrasonic sensor. It should be in port 4 because if you look here, got to switch this up. We can see that we've plugged it in to port 4 in the front of the robot. You could plug it into somewhere else, but since these are already set up like that, just leave it there. Okay, so that's fine. And so we're going to wait, but here's the thing. 50 inches is way too far away. That's over 4 feet. We want this thing to go at about 5 inches. You can adjust that if it's triggering too close to the wall or far away. You can adjust that distance, but I'm going to put whenever the distance is less than 5, then it gets triggered. So what do these two blocks mean together? When we look at these two together, it means please go forward forever, but wait, stop once we trigger the ultrasonic sensor at less than 5 inches. Okay? Cool. So what we're going to do then is something different, and this helps us with accuracy. It's annoying, but we're only going to have to do it once if we're smart about the way we build our blocks. And I'll show you this in a second. So click here and just change this to off, to stop. So this is going to go forward until it detects something that's 5 inches away. And then because we changed this right down here to stop, it's not forward, it's not backwards, it's just stop. We don't have a whole lot of other options, do we? So we're going to leave that there. So we're moving forward until we detect the wall at 5 inches, then we stop. Hey, this is really important. I found that this really helps with accuracy on the turns, is that we drag out and we go here to wait and time, and drag out wait for time, and just keep it on 1 second. So it'll actually pause before it stops when it detects the wall, and then it pauses for a second. This is really important because if it keeps going right into the turns get wild and unpredictable. So, okay, so that's our fourth block. Then we're gonna make a turn block because we've detected it, we stopped, we waited, and now we're gonna make our turn. We're gonna go all the way to the right for the first turn. So all the way to the right. And for the power, I'm going to keep the power at 75. I found that at 40%, the power is unpredictable on the turns. Let's leave our turn power at 75. Now earlier we had our going forward power at 40, that's good. Let's leave our turn power at 75. And remember from our lab from last week, most of us found, and yours might be a little different, and you might have to adjust this a little, but most people found that 0.75, and it's got to be rotations, seems to work pretty good for a right turn. We'll see when we get out there. We might have to adjust that just a little bit. Okay, and then finally, after we do the turn, before we start going forward again for the next one, I want to wait another second. So wait for time and leave it at 1 second. So at this point, I'm going to save my code just so I don't have to start over again. I'm calling it Sonic Maze and save that. Sonic because it's bouncing sound waves to find the walls, and the maze because we should be working our way through a maze right now. So let's go ahead and we will pause this. So now we're going to plug it in, of course, and remember you can't download the code. Mine wasn't turned on, so I had to turn my robot on. I plugged it in. And now what I want to do is I want to zap the memory. Because we don't want to run anybody else's stuff. So you go up here, you click on this thing, go to memory, and then delete all. Okay. Now we can make sure that when I download something to this and I run it, it's going to be my program because mine's the only stuff on there because I deleted everything else, right? Okay, so let's download that. So now you can see we've got our robot here. I'm going to line it up so it's going straight ahead, and let's see what happens. Because I cleared the memory, I know I'm running mine, so I can make sure it's the right one. So it's going to go, it's going to detect it, wait 1 second, 0.75 rotations, looks like it's a little bit too much, wait a second, and then it's going to keep going if we had another turn, but we only have one turn so far, don't we? Okay, cool, that was for the right turn. It looks pretty good. I might want to change a little bit, but this should probably work just fine. So let's go back and I'm going to show you guys how to save this. So now that we're back here, we need to put in another turn that's just like that because you saw that our maze has another right turn. So we go hit the wall and then we're a right turn. Watch what I'm going to do. This is kind of gets a little bit interesting. It makes it a lot easier because this whole thing, if we put it together, has the meaning basically that we hit the wall, we stop, and then we turn, and then we wait a little bit longer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, what I want to do is I'm going to reach up here and see how you can click and drag and grab these boxes. I want to grab all of the 6 boxes that we've made so far. This is basically, if you think about it, this chunk of boxes does one, detect the wall, wait, turn right, and then wait. Okay? We're going to want more of these, right? In our little mini maze that we're doing today, we want a total of 3 of them. Okay, so what we do is we select all of them by dragging across here. You could also click on one and hold down Control and click the others. It's easier though to drag them. And then once you have that, notice how this is blacked out, but when I grab all of these boxes, and we click this one, create my block. And basically, instead of seeing this every time we want to do one of these turns, we're just going to turn them all into one block and hide all the stuff that's underneath the hood. So I click that, and look what happens. My block, and we have to name it. So I'm going to call this Sonic Right Turn. Okay? Sonic Right Turn. And finish. And look what happens. Now we don't have all that code there. Instead, we have one that's a Sonic Right Turn. Don't do this until you know your turn works. I showed you on the camera, mine works. I mean, there's a little bit off, maybe a little bit on the turn, but not bad. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on the Sonic Turn, and I need 3 of those. So I'm going to go Edit, and I'm going to go to Copy, and then I'm going to go Edit, where'd it go? Paste, and then link them up. And then I'm going to edit and paste again. Whoops, I guess I got to click on that first. Paste again and link them up. And let's go see and have a look at how this is going to go for us. Again, you know, I got to plug it in. And there it is. Took a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's go try it out on the camera. Okay, so now we have 3 of those the sonic right turn blocks that we made, that we assembled. So it's a total of, well, it's actually like 18 blocks, but we're hiding it in 3. Okay, we're gonna go until we detect the wall, stop and wait, turn. Go until we detect this wall, stop and wait, turn, wait. Go to this wall. Uh-oh, we have to fix that at the end, right? We don't need to have a turn at the end of it. So, but for today, we'll fix that later. We'll probably do that one tomorrow, but for today, this is what I wanted to get accomplished. So some of the new things that we've learned, let me get this here. All right, so let's just review real quick kind of what was important to take from this video. First of all, that our robot has an ultrasonic sensor. We changed to 5-inch detection distance so that we can detect the wall without actually running into it, which is kind of nice. We learned that we should probably put a pause and wait and make the turns at 75% speed. They tend to work a little bit better like that. At 40%, they go slower, but they didn't quite give us the accuracy that we wanted out here. And finally, we learned how to make a My Block, and we named that one Sonic Right Turn. You can name it something different if you want to, but we use that 3 times. We can still double click it and see under the hood. See that? We can go and see what's going on with the Sonic Right Turn. And we can edit it in here if we need to. All right, hey, thanks everybody. And remember, after you get this program done, I'm gonna wanna see 2 things to show that you've done it. I'm gonna need to see that it was completed using these My Blocks, because that's part of what I wanted you to learn. And I'm also going to need to see it out on the table like I showed you, that your robot actually goes through and completes the maze and does what it's supposed to do with the pauses and everything that was in this video. Hey, thanks everyone, and I look forward to grading you and giving you a great score on this. Thanks.